All right, so how can you get a $350,000 capital grant? So the title of this, How Maryland's $350,000 capital grant really works and how to use it. Now, most people think that construction or renovation funding only comes from banks, but Maryland quietly gives out millions of dollars to nonprofits, community centers, incubators, and development projects every year. And most people have no idea how it works. And in a client that came to me had a public private partnership through an incubator, and they were able to use this project to not only create help the community but also provide long-term wealth for themselves. But the part that I want to go over is what the project is, or the program is. How do you use it? And the program is called the Maryland Capital Project Grant, sometimes known as the Local Bond Build Program. And every year, the Maryland General Assembly approves funding for specific capital projects across the state. Projects like community centers, incubators, museums, cultural facilities, educational spaces, and innovator hubs. Now, these funds don't come from a typical grant pool, they come from state issued bonds, real state money set aside for brick and mortar improvements. So when you see a project awarded, it's like 100,000 to 350,000, sometimes more, is because the state of Maryland has already approved that funding in law. Now, here's how the program actually works in real life. And this is where most organizations get stuck. So, number one, the legislator approves a capital grant, and the project gets listed like DGS item 7150, chapter 344 of the laws of Maryland, and then it'll have the year on it. And this means that the state officially supports the project. So, number two, before you get any money, you must sign a formal grant agreement. And this is exactly the agreement that my borrower brought to me. It was from the Board of Public Works, and it outlines the following: what the funds can be used for. So, for example, construction, renovation, equipment, site work. What they cannot be used for, like operations, salaries, program, and then your long-term obligations to the state. Number three, you must provide proof of matching funds, and this is the requirement that surprises everyone. In the agreement, Maryland states that the grant can be terminated if you don't prove that you have your match. So for many grants, that match must be verified, documented, and in your bank in your bank before the state money is released. And this is where most grant recipients just hit a dead end. And this is exactly why my client came to us. And so they had the award, they had the project, they had the contractor, but they did not have the matching funds. Now, without the match, no disbursement. Without matching funds, the award could expire just completely. And number four, the state reimburses, they don't pre-fund. So you pay your invoices first, you submit your paperwork, and the state reimburses based on what is eligible. And this is why financial readiness is critical. And why does it matter, and why this program is a game changer? Because most nonprofits think capital funding is impossible because they don't have 300,000, but Maryland has already set aside the funds. The biggest hurdle is proving readiness, especially the match. And this matters because you can't get major construction dollars without you can get major construction dollars without incurring debt. You can improve or expand a facility that builds long-term community value, and you can and you instantly become more credible with partners and donors, and these grants often spark additional private funding. And it's one of the few ways to complete big projects without giving up ownership or taking out large loans. So for many organizations, this program is a once in a generation opportunity. So what should you do and how can you take advantage of this program? And here's here's the playbook that I use with clients, and there's 4 items here. So number one, get your matching funds plan in place early. Match and those matching funds can come from cash, verified in-kind contribution, private loans, pledges that meet state requirements, and financing structure specifically for capital match. And this is where a funding strategist becomes essential. Number two, understand exactly what costs are eligible. Only capital expenses count. And we help clients match out every line item to the state's rules. Number three, prepare documentation before submitting your first disbursement request, because Maryland is strict. Invoices, contracts, procurement details, they must all be clean. And number four, plan for long-term compliance, because the state issued bonds. Their restrictions last for years, sometimes a decade or more. And we help clients understand insurance requirements, property restrictions, audit requirements, transfer limitations, so nothing catches them off ground. And then number five, if you need help meeting the matching fund requirements, that's where we can come in. In the case of our borrower, the grant was $350,000, but the clock was ticking. They needed matching funds to unlock it. So we can step in, structure the match, and position you and your project to receive the full award. And this is the part most organizations cannot do on their own. But it's the difference between turning a legislative award into real money or watching the award just expire unused. So if your organization has received or applying for a Maryland Capital Project grant or another project or another program in your state, and you want to make sure that you meet the matching funds requirement, stay compliant with the state, actually receive the money you were awarded, or find creative ways to finance your share, definitely reach out to us, because this is what we help organizations do. And definitely comment match if you want more information to assist you.